our Earth is flat and the constellations and stars spin above us, like we experience every day of our lives.
This is impossible on a spinning globe. We have all been lied to.
Let's take a journey into the flat Earth theory.
As you will see, it's the spinning ball that is fake.
The Earth is flat, stationary, and enclosed by a glass dome known as the firmament, which contains the sun, moon, and stars, all of which move, not the Earth. Above and below are waters. This isn't a conspiracy. If satellites were really in space, why would we need communication towers in the middle of the ocean? A compass only functions properly on a flat surface to differentiate between north, east, south, and west. Water always stays level and contained, with the Arctic Circle and Antarctica acting as barriers that hold the oceans in. The solid glass dome, or firmament, keeps the air inside, creating a sealed, airtight environment. The Earth doesn't spin at millions of miles per hour like a ball. The sounds of thunder booms are produced when solid objects shift. Even world leaders know this truth, as shown by the Flat Earth map on the UN logo. Once again, it's the sun, moon, and stars that rotate from east to west, not the Earth. The people who taught you that the Earth is a globe are fully aware of and believe in the flat, enclosed system we all live in, and that no one can leave.
Okay, I'm going to show all the normies how night and day and how seasons work on the true model of Earth. Now let's take a look at the Gleason's map made in 1892, a map that is both scientifically and practically correct, and the standard map of the world before the world elites came along. Speaking of world elites, it's the same map that they use in the United Nations logo. Isn't that interesting? Now, as you can see in this map, they have the Roman numerals that go from 1 to 12, and then they restart and they go from 1 to 12. This represents night and day. So when the sun rotates around this side of the Earth for 12 hours, they experience daytime. And this is exactly what this would look like on the flat Earth model. And this is why we see angled sun rays, because the sun is actually a lot smaller and closer to the Earth. Just literally common sense. Now I'm going to explain the seasons. Take notice at this part of the map. So this is the December solstice, where the sun rotates on the outer perimeter of our Earth, which looks like this. So all the people in the middle would experience winter. And this is the June solstice, where the sun is rotating more towards the North Pole, which looks like this. So all the people in the middle experience summer. And you have fall, which is in between summer and winter. So this is the North Pole. As the seasons change, the sun starts to rotate more south. And you can prove this by yourself through observation with your own two eyes. I live in Canada. In the summer, the sun would set in front of my house. And in the winter time, it would set much further south over the lake. I observe it every single day and see it move gradually and gradually further away. And it would get gradually colder and colder and colder. Now they are lying to you because they are hiding God's true creation. And they do not want you knowing how divine you are. Look within for the real answers. Peace.
We might have a credible scientific explanation for the firmament. The ozone layer is comprised of O3. O3 freezes into a solid at 420 degrees below Fahrenheit, negative 450 degrees Fahrenheit, making it colder than the freezing point of oxygen. Therefore, it's highly possible that that oxygen is freezing up there into a glass-like substance. When oxygen freezes, it turns a light blue. Making sense yet? Now, if oxygen is freezing at the top layer that touches space, right below that, it would be liquid oxygen, which would, of course, explain the waters above. So how would solid and liquid oxygen stay all the way up there? Well, as soon as it got warm, it'd turn into a gas, and then it'd just float up there. And then it'd get cold again, and turn into water and ice. Here's where it gets really interesting. A lot of people will tell you that the rainbow is shaped like a bow because each individual water drop is circular. That's an absolute BS lie. The water provides a screen. The rainbow is always there. We just can't see it all the time. When the rainfall happens, then we see the rainbow, so the rainbow is always a bow. And why? Because the light that is emitted from the prism reflects the shape of the prism, because we live under a convex dome prism. Now, if you subscribe to the idea that the ice wall is all around the outside edges of the Earth, again, it would explain it connecting to the frozen firmament. When we get to the edge, we get to the coldest place. And why is it so cold? Well, people need to understand what energy, temperature, and time actually is.
Earth is a level, motionless plane with the sun, moon, and stars revolving over and around us just as you experience every day. The North Pole is the magnetic monopole center point, with Polaris, the North Pole star, situated directly above. Polaris is the only motionless star in the heavens, with all the other constellations revolving perfect circles over the Earth every night. The so-called planets, known to the ancients as wandering stars, were named such because they were observed then as we can observe today, to wander the heavens, taking their own unique spirograph-like patterns, making both forward and retrograde motions over and around the Earth during their cycles. Meanwhile, the fixed stars modern astronomy proclaim, rotating 1,000 miles per hour on its axis, revolving 67,000 miles per hour around the Sun, spiraling 500,000 miles per hour around the galaxy, and shooting off several million more miles per hour through the universe, the star patterns would never look the same 2 nights in a row, let alone be fixed in exactly the same constellations for thousands upon thousands of years. The reality is that the Earth and Polaris do not move, while everything else in the heavens revolves over Earth and around Polaris, east to west, like in a planetarium dome.